This show, first of all, will be live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Um, and I really want you to um, listen to Khyati, who's my guest today, and she's got such an inspiring story. So if you read Khyati's bio that we did uh, this morning, it's absolutely amazing. So let me bring on Khyati, and we're going to talk about her amazing story, her stroke story. Um, Here she comes. Welcome.
Hello.
How good to see you. You're on your phone.
Yes, I'm on my phone.
Okay, I'll just some of the Michelle Renee says good morning, and Salud says aloha from Napa,
Good
California.
morning,
Um,
everyone.
yeah, and I'll keep mentioning the ones that are here. Um, but what I was going to ask the first start is, who was Kathy before your stroke?
Khyati she was very live person, always singing and dancing, making. I guess she was the life of the room. Let's put it. She enjoyed every festival. She loved to go out. She was very active. She was working almost 80 hours a week because
Wow,
she was handling two jobs, full time and part time jobs. She was a senior in her. She was senior tech in automatic data processing, where she was a banking tech. She was taking care of all the escalated issues and
wow,
almost pretty much helping out management to take care of the issues while they were not in the department.
wow, wow. You're busy, busy, aren't you?
I was very busy, and then stroke just came and said, "Okay, you girl, you gotta relax."
So were you stressed out?
I wouldn't say that because I liked what I was doing,
Yeah,
but I think maybe my body was just tired, and that's how God said, "Okay, you need to relax, honey.
yeah,
Take your time off."
it, yeah, exactly. And you live in Maryland right now.
Now I'm in Maryland. Before I was in New Jersey. When I
Okay.
had stroke, I was in New Jersey.
Wow, wow. And what led it up to it? Because in the beginning we talked about it and really didn't know what caused the stroke and didn't even know what a stroke was, like me.
There were a couple things. All I remember, I was still wide awake when they came to gap me 911.
But
And I heard the paramedics talking among themselves. One said, well, she has a stroke. And in my head, I'm saying that, no, I don't have stroke. You do. I still remember that. I'm like, I heard them talking to each other. I think she has a stroke. And I'm still saying, nope, I don't have a stroke. I
right,
cannot
right.
have a stroke.
Wow.
And then I heard somebody asked me, did anybody in your family had a stroke? And I'm like, yeah, when I was very young, my mother had a stroke, but she
Ah,
had high blood pressure. So her was like, due to this, she was struggling with the keeping up with her blood pressure.
right,
So that made us, so somebody say, where is it in her genes? That's why she has a stroke. And then when I woke up, neurologist said, no, stroke doesn't come in genes.
You- wow,
So who knows what it was?
right, right. But
But
then
like
you,
I said, it doesn't matter at this point. It is what it is, and I need to live with it, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. Like I said in my bio, that I'm okay with it. It has taught me a lot of different things. It has shown me my side that I never knew of it. I didn't know how strong I was till I had this um, thing in my plate. It
right,
made me realize I can do a lot of stuff with one hand and just one side of the body.
right. Yeah, exactly. Because you so inspiring. Some of the stuff we talked about. You talked about how you're the chosen one. I mean, stroke really opened the door for you.
Yeah, it did. I did a lot of stuff after my stroke that I didn't think I could do it before. I was very introvert, I was shy, I was not outspoken. If this was Khyati before stroke, would not have been on your live show right now.
Right,
I didn't
right.
have this courage before.
Yeah, I hear
And
that.
now I can say that I can go out and still do what I want to do. Strokes cannot stop me. Yeah, sometimes I'm not saying I'm like positive all the time. Yeah, there are some days when I'm down, but then I pull
Sure.
myself back up together. I'm like, no, gotta live still my life.
Yeah, that's amazing because I was going to ask you how in the beginning, like the first when you had the stroke, how was the emotional state with you, your family? You had a good support system.
Yeah, I did have a really good support system. I was very worried because I was in denial stage. I didn't want to accept that I had a stroke. I still wanted to do like I still remember I was fighting with the nurses because
Yeah,
I didn't want to stay in bed. Like I said, I was very active from the beginning. I didn't want to stay in a bed. And when you're in a, I'm sure whoever went through this process know that when you're in hospital, they don't even leave you alone in the bathroom. They're like
right,
constantly knocking on your door to check. I mean, they're doing their job. I appreciated that. But that time I didn't understand that.
right,
I
right.
was just upset because I wasn't not getting my time. While I'm in the bathroom, if somebody nurse knock on my door, I would be very upset. I would be
Right.
like, "Can you leave me alone, please?"
Yeah, I totally understand. And Salute is saying you are a thriver.
Yeah, I can say that. I mean, I learned. I guess this journey has taught me a lot that you cannot let you cannot stop your life because something that happened to you. You still have a life, a long way to go. So keep moving, everyone, and just do what you can. You don't have to do everything at one time. You can take your time to finish the task. Let's
Yeah,
take one step at a time. You don't have to run.
it's so true. You said, well, Stephen Albright is saying, my strokes have forced me to take a closer look at my life and appreciate what I have. And we talked about
Correct.
that yesterday.
That's so true. I guess a lot of stuff we took it very granted, like walking or dancing or just running. We didn't
Yeah,
realize how important that those things were till we were hit by
yeah,
stroke.
it- so true. I mean, I know I feel the same way like that. Now, in the beginning, you didn't know what a stroke was.
No, I mean I didn't know because my mother had a stroke, but I was very young at that time. I didn't realize what was happening in the family. As I grew up, I realized she had a stroke, but she was lucky. She recovered in within 1 year, completely normal.
Wow, wow. That,
So I guess when I saw her, like that's the idea I had in my head because I saw her recovering completely normal. I guess that's when I woke up, someone said I had stroke, and I'm like, oh, that's okay. I can manage it. My mother got better. I can do
yeah,
it too.
yeah, exactly.
But that's why I didn't want to accept it. I'm like, that's okay. Stroke is not a big deal. I can deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. And what you said about this is Salute says very true. We've not let Tom's massive ischemic stroke stop us from living our life to the fullest.
True. Cannot. There's so much there's so much else in the life besides stroke. So stroke is just maybe like a 1 ounce. There are the 1 degree. There's still 360-degree out there for us. So
Right.
enjoy that. Don't worry
Yeah.
about that 1 degree.
Right. You look back. You don't look back.
I cannot. I mean, if you look back, you will never go further.
Yeah.
You gotta just keep. Yeah, I mean, there are still memories. I cannot deny that.
Sure.
Once in a while, those memories will come back to me and say, I miss that girl. But that's okay. I love this girl who I am right now, too.
Yes. So true. Deb says, "Love your attitude."
That's the attitude. Well, you have to maintain this attitude if you wanna. I mean, you cannot live your life with frustrated all the time. There's a, if you stay like that, it will affect your family eventually, who's trying very hard to support you.
Yes.
So you cannot let them down.
Right. But it took
I
you about,
try every little bit that I can do for my family.
yeah, it took you about 2 years, if I remember right.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, I was very afraid to go out in public in the beginning. All I was thinking, because I had a very severe spasticity,
Yes.
my wrist was to my mouth, and of course my walking is wasn't great. I mean, it's still not great, but
Yeah,
I still managed. So that time, all I was thinking, okay, if I go in public, everybody will be looking at me, saying, "Oh,
yeah,
look at this clown," and that's all I was thinking.
yeah,
And then I realized, eventually, I realized nobody has a time for me. Everybody's busy in their own life. So let's just go on.
yeah, yeah. You don't want to burden anybody. I felt like I was a burden.
Yeah, in the beginning, it did feel like that because I had to depend on my husband, my brother to give me rides to therapy.
Yes.
And like I said, I was never that person. I always gave a hand out to help someone. I never
Right.
asked for help. So it was very hard in the beginning for me to take that help.
But now you're wanting to give back too. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, that's what I really want. Even if I can motivate one person
Yes.
or just bring them out of that uh, frustration or depression,
Right.
just show them that there is life after stroke. I think
Yeah.
that's what I want to just reach out to people and let them know
Yes. So
that
true.
look, it's okay if you don't recover. Yeah, it's okay if you have some difficulty in your body. Still your body, enjoy it. There
Yeah.
are people out there who may not have what you have.
Right. Right. But you, like we talked yesterday, everybody
Right,
has their own fingerprint.
right.
There's no stroke that's the same. Laya here says it's so important to be positive as you are.
Thank you very much. With all your wishes, I'm still gonna try to maintain this attitude rest of my life.
Yes, yes. And Yvonne Kent Pateras, I don't know if you know her. She's lives in Athens, Greece, and she says, "I don't believe you change inside, but on the exterior."
That's so true. Inside, you still the same person. You
Yes,
still, if you enjoy the music before, I still enjoy the music now.
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly. And we talk about your support system. When they stuck by you, I mean, I think we talked about how many so many people have just left. They're they didn't stick by the thick or thin. You know, when you get married, and you got married. Well, you had your stroke at 32 years old,
right. I
right?
Yeah, we completed our 3 years marriage anniversary, and then I had a stroke.
Right.
So we only had been married at 3 years for that time, but now we are together for 15 years.
Right, right. That's terrific. Just and you had so 11 years ago your stroke was.
Yeah, in November I'll complete my 12 years.
Wow, wow. That's terrific. And you've made some progress completely. I mean, how do we talk about OT, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy? You went through all that,
Yes, I did. I I couldn't swallow anything before, so they had me on those thick juices, I should say, no water. And I had my speech were blurry. I had short term memory loss.
yeah.
So I recovered from all that, but still struggling with leg and hand function, which is okay. I'm working on it.
Yeah,
Eventually, we'll get there.
exactly. So, but you just like here in America, we run out of therapy, insurance reasons.
Right.
But then you went back to India
I did go back to India for 1 year.
and you got the therapy that you needed there,
Yeah, in India, what they do is they manually stretch you out.
right?
So here, when you're working with like the machines, robotic machines, and all that stuff, it didn't help me with my spasticity, because in spasticity you definitely need deeper stretches.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
which you cannot do by yourself. You need help definitely for that.
Exactly. And you have a daughter that at that time was a year and a half old,
Yeah, now she's 14 years.
and she keeps you accountable. I understand.
Oh yes, she can be my therapist at a time when I need her.
Yeah, and she tells you what you're doing wrong or right, doesn't she?
Of course, she'll correct my posture. She'll correct me if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's terrific. And Lynette Price says, very blessed to have them stand by you.
Of course, yeah, the family is a great support. I cannot deny that. Without them, so if you have family who is supporting you, appreciate them definitely and work harder for them and for yourself as well.
Right, right, exactly. So, and you're also using the same thing I'm using, is that from Modus Nova, the hand mentor.
Yes, I do use that.
Yeah, and you're trying to do the 25 hours a week. Is it
25 hours per month.
per month? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're so dedicated at that. Good.
Yeah, I'll complete my 14 hours already, so I have 11 more hours to go.
Wow, good for you. I mean, talk about dedication.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Only you can help yourself. You. I think what I made a mistake in the beginning is I was looking out for therapist or occupational therapist or somebody who can help me out.
Yeah,
But there are so much resources on YouTube and other like on internet is the I guess internet is the guru right now. You find everything that you need on internet. So search for it. If you need something, you can help yourself. Don't rely on therapist or anybody else.
right,
Help
exactly.
yourself.
Great attitude. And do you go currently to therapy with this pandemic, or not really? You're searching
No,
on
no.
Google.
With pandemic, everything has stopped. Actually, my therapy has been stopped for a long time. So I've been
Yeah,
just what I've been doing is searching on YouTube and just doing the stretches that I was doing with the therapist before. Like I said, I search a lot on YouTube and internet, and
right.
I try to help myself.
And it's working. I mean, you're doing a great job, aren't you?
Yeah,
So
I
it's
mean,
not.
I just have to be careful with my shoulder because it's sublux is still there.
Yes,
So I just learned that throughout the journey. Yeah, you want to work hard, but at the same time, you want to work smart as well.
yeah,
If something is bothering my shoulder, I'll stop.
yeah. What do you do? Because I have the same. It's always good for me. I always do this. Ask other stroke survivors because I have the same thing, subluxation in my arm.
Yeah.
So what do you do to maybe I can learn from?
In the beginning, I was using stimulation.
Yeah,
Yeah, so stimulation helped me in the beginning, and then weight bearing, getting on my limbs, that
yeah.
helped me a lot.
Uh, Good to hear that because when I walk, you know, I'm not a pretty
Yeah,
sight. I'm like a
even
penguin.
eventually I'll feel that if I'm walking or standing for too long, gravity will pull my
Yep.
shoulder down.
Yeah, exactly. And Miri, she just said, "You are a powerhouse."
You know what, Mary? Thank you very much. But I learned from a lot of other stroke survivors as well. I cannot take credit from everybody. I mean, I learned from each and every person I met in my life. While
Right.
I was telling Jerry, when I was in India, I met this neurosurgeon
Yeah.
who had some kind of virus affected his brain. And when I saw him, I'm like, somebody told me he's a neurosurgeon. I didn't believe it because he was completely wheelchair bound and he couldn't feed himself. I couldn't believe my eyes that he was neurosurgeon. He was going through that, but
Right.
he was so smart at his brain. He was telling his neurologist what to do for him. So that kind of gave me I that was kind of gave me, okay, if he's a neurosurgeon, he can go through this. Who am I can live with this as well.
Right.
So I
Right. You
learned
can do
from
it.
a lot different people in my life that I met.
Yeah.
I guess when you start looking at the worst cases, you'll realize how blessed you are.
Yes. Exactly. um, and you talked about you were the chosen one. And did you ever say, I hate to even admit it, you know, for me, I did. Why me? Why did you pick me to go through this in the beginning?
I did that, and then I finally found the answer. They said God only gave the responsibility to the someone who can handle it.
Yes,
So I
yes,
guess we are he knows that we can handle this. That's
right,
why he
right,
has given this to us and not anybody else.
yeah. It really changes your outlook on life,
Right.
doesn't it?
I guess
Yeah,
he believes in us that we can handle this baggage.
yeah, exactly.
We
We
are
can
stronger.
inspire
So
people.
let's prove it to him that he was right.
Right, right. And to inspire other people, because what you're doing today, like you said earlier, if I can inspire, and I do the same thing, if I can inspire one person and maybe two people, that's my goal was met, and then they can inspire that other people too. So stroke is not for the weak, but
Oh no. It
yeah,
is devastating a moment when you find out that you lost half of your body or some part of your body.
right, right,
But
exactly,
you still have other 95% left in your body. So
right, right,
work on that.
right. There is Don out here says, what improvements have you noticed from using the hand mentor? Because
It
for
is
me, I've noticed them, well, because I use it too.
Donna, you know what I can say? I have very severe spasticity in my wrist. So I know it's not gonna help me. Like I'm not looking out for like tremendous improvement. I can say that my goal is very short term goal. And that's what I can say, that we all need to learn to make a short term goal and not long term. Enjoy that little, like what I notice with hand mentor is it relaxes my wrist. It may once I'm done with the hand mentor, I can notice my wrist is very relaxed. So I'm
Yes,
hoping eventually with doing those stretches, eventually my spasticity will decrease,
yeah,
and with all the other splinting and the other stretches that I've been doing, eventually it'll help, and my wrist will be. I noticed that it's almost to mild spasticity now, while it was severe. Now I notice it's moderate to mild, so I guess that's a good thing. And
yeah,
maybe I can
exactly.
start using that the flexion, the I guess opening the extension now.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know
But I don't want to
it,
rush into anything. Like I want to take my time because I don't want to get back into fist again.
right, because we ended up like this.
Right.
Yeah, and that I know that feeling, and I always try to keep my arms straight the whole time. But that hand mentor has actually helped me with my range of motion on my wrist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The stretches will eventually loosen up your wrist, and will you'll improve with
Yeah,
I guess you'll get your functions back. It may not be right away, because there are a lot of stuff, other stuff that you need to take in action as well.
yes, yes, exactly. Um, there's so many comments. Delay says, so very true, Kathy. You are so empowering. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I guess what I want to share with all my friends here is like go- don't put the long term goal out. Put the short term, like one of
Yeah.
the video I watched on YouTube from Dr. Tobias.
Yes,
I guess you want to enjoy. Don't look out for, like, if you have spasticity, just look out for the relaxation in the beginning. Don't try to start the functions right away, because then
yes,
you're doing the completely opposite than what you should have been doing. So you want to learn what's actually helping your body instead of
right,
jumping into functions right away.
right.
Take the one step at a time. You want to know whatever you're doing, if it's actually helping your body or whether it's going the opposite direction.
Okay. So true, so true. Phil Knox says, time to move on. God's getting into it now.
True.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of. So Lynette Price again says, yes, I had to come to a place where I said, why not me? To be able to become a stroke survivor and not a victim. That's right. Uh, exactly, Lynette. That's right. We get to that point in the beginning. Like I feel I'm a victim. I feel I don't want to talk. You said you were an introvert. You didn't want to talk to anybody. I know the feeling going outside. Didn't want to. I worry about still worry about if I'm going to walk. I got to make sure because I feel, and I'm sure you do too. Every uh, pothole type thing or undulating the street or wherever you're walking. Tough. I mean, I know that um, there's a lot of people out here to say hello to you. There's a ton of people saying hi to you. So
Please apologize to all them because I cannot see everybody's comment here because I'm on my cell phone. Please let
right,
them know I really appreciate that everybody's getting on the Facebook and talking to me.
yeah, and at the end, you'll when you look back, you'll see all the comments and you can respond to them. Tammy Straight says hello, hello. Lynn Planet says hi, and Lynn just said enjoy life. So there's a ton of people out here.
But Jerry,
Um,
before I forget, for your shoulder, have you ever tried taping your shoulder?
Yeah, K tape. I when I go to
Yes.
therapy, yeah, they do it perfectly. Me trying to, or my wife, it's
But
tougher. But I, yeah,
maybe I think they also helped me. Maybe you want to keep that K tape as long as you can.
yeah, and I agree. Thank you so much for reminding me because I'm tired of and that helps tremendously. I'm glad you just reminded me because do you do that?
I did and helped me. And also there is a shoulder sleeve out there. Maybe you can use that as well.
Yeah,
I haven't used that, but somebody recommended that to me.
right on Amazon. They sell
Yeah.
those too.
Yes, it's they say helping with the shoulder sublux. So maybe you want to try that.
Yeah, and there was one that I didn't. I was I saw on Amazon and they had but I don't want to ever get my arm down like this again. I always want to keep it straight.
No, the
So
shoulder sleeve you won't have to flex your elbow.
yeah, probably goes down to around here.
A shoulder sleeve it goes on your shoulder and it's wraps around your other side of your trunk.
Right.
So it kind
Okay.
of puts your shoulder back in place.
Yeah. And I always thought maybe I need to get an operation or something to the tendons or something. And that's I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm so used to it, but I notice it when walking for a long
Yeah,
time.
it doesn't bother me. That only bothers me if I'm, like I said, if I'm working very hard. By end of the day, if I'm tired, I'll realize my shoulder is pulling down and I need to sit down.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Um,
time only time I'll realize that I have shoulder sublux. Otherwise,
yeah.
I'll be keep going.
Oh yeah, I agree. And Deb just says walk with a balance issue, and the knot is not level, it's a challenge.
It is.
Walking. Yeah,
It is still challenge.
yeah. It's so true. So so now with this pandemic, you're not doing any therapy except home therapy, doing your own stuff. Do you do other than the hand mentor?
I do stretches in the beginning, and then I put splint on pretty much all day long to just avoid the going back in the spasticity pattern again. So after I'm done
Right,
with all the
right.
stretches in the morning, I'll put on my splint and keep it on.
Yeah, okay. And when do you do the hand mentor? Is that like every in the morning or just do you break it up during the day?
I was doing an hour in the morning, but then so a guy from Hand Mentor recommended that I should be doing maybe couple times a day instead of one time a day. So now
Yeah, yeah.
I just broke it down in 30 minutes session. So I'll do 30 minutes in the morning and 30 in the night.
Right, right. I'm glad to hear that because I break it up as well. Because I tried the first time with an hour and an hour. Oh, my forearm was on fire. It's hard work. People think you're just sitting
Yeah,
there
it
moving.
is a hard work, and I guess the repetition is the key, as everybody else is saying that just continuous repetition with anything that you wanna learn.
Right.
That's the key. Just keep doing whatever you want to learn that function.
Yeah, exactly. And I keep going back to your bio, what you wrote. I am so inspired by what you said and how you. And now stroke is actually, I don't want to say it's a gift from God to challenge you and see how strong you are.
That's true. I guess, yeah, we take a lot of things for granted. Like I took my husband for granted, my family for granted. I never realized that how much I needed them
Yeah, exactly.
till
You are.
I was hit by stroke.
Yeah, and how blessed you are, and the support you really have. You don't realize it until it's gone.
Yeah, imagine me like they would be really frustrating that if you don't have your body and then you don't have support with all the family members, you'll be like miserable. So it's a blessings that if you have supportive family, that's really
Right.
blessings.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. I mean, I always thank God that I have a family support system, a huge one. With the grandkids to the my wife, my brothers and sisters, and my mother is still around here. And wow, it's just and I feel like I'm not taking advantage of them. I feel like I'm a burden. If I always
No,
think we're
don't
gonna
feel
go
that
somewhere.
you're a
They want to go
burden.
somewhere.
Like I'm sure they love you. I mean, the love is never been
Oh,
burden. So if you like, I'm
yeah.
sure you do same thing for them. I tell my husband all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time that am I burden on you? Like I sometimes I'll feel that
Oh,
too, and he'll tell me, Kathy, if that would have this would have been me, would you leave me? Mhm. And I'll be like, no, I love you. He's like, same thing. Love never is a two-way street.
yeah. Exactly. Do you ever feel like, um, okay, my husband or wife or someone, we're going to go to like I'm just using a baseball game or whatever. I have to think ahead, thinking, okay, is there a hill I have to go up, or is there, a I always prepare that for the worst. Like, can I make it? Can I get in their car or something? I mean, do you ever think like that?
Oh yeah, of course I do. Here in Maryland, we used to go out for summer camping. So first time my husband proposed that to me and my daughter. My daughter was excited, but I was afraid to go because I didn't know like if I could, if I had a like if here in taking a bath or everything in my house, I know what how I need to do it. But when I'm
Yeah,
going out, I don't know if I can do the same thing outside in different environment or with
right.
the same. So I was scared, but I took a chance just for my daughter because I know they would make her happy.
Yes.
So sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll try. If you wouldn't know till you try something.
Yeah.
So I
It,
encourage everybody to go out and try different stuff, new stuff.
right.
If you don't know you'll like it or not. Whether if you don't try, you'll never know. So just try. Yeah, you'll be scared in the beginning, but just try till.
You know, I said earlier, it was yesterday, I'm so impressed with you. You said in the beginning, before your stroke, you were kind of a quiet, shy introvert, and after when we first talked, I was like, you need to be a motivational speaker because you're so inspiring. I just want to sit back and listen to you go right now. I want to hear you because you're to tell everybody who's watching, because there's a lot of people. Um, because like you said, take a chance. Don't just sit back and don't do nothing. You know, help yourself and inspire other people that you can do it.
Yeah, and you don't know whether he would like, if you don't take a chance, you would not know if he would help you or not either. So, yeah, it'll be scary in the beginning. Change is always scary. But take that change. Change will change you.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. Um, Lynn here says, my husband is my caregiver. And then Stephen Albright says, you have to consider logistics. Accessibility is an important factor. I feel like that. Yeah, just like that. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, because trying to navigate through different scenarios, I think about that all the time, and I think most people do. Yeah, yeah. So I'm really proud of you how you've overcome what you've gone through and still going through.
Yeah, I have promised myself for my daughter and for my family that I'm not gonna let this stop me. I'll enjoy with them, for them. And
Yes.
if I'm like my daughter and my husband always tell me, we are lucky to have you. Because one of her cousin recently lost her mother, so she's like, at least I have you. So what? You cannot do certain things. So what? At least I have you to share my feelings with you. So, if you're here, there is a reason for it. So find that reason and work on that. I,
Wow.
I truly believe that we all are here for some reason. Once that reason is fulfilled, will be gone. So find
Yes.
that reason, whatever you are here for, and work on that.
Wow. So true. So true. And was that your daughter
Yeah,
saying that?
yeah.
Wow. And now she's a teenager, right?
She's a teenager.
And she knows everything.
She knows everything. You name it, she knows it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. So, okay. So Lynn's also saying she does exercises and rides her stationary bike every day. So you need to do something every day. We can't just sit around and twiddle our thumbs. We need to keep, as a stroke survivor, we have to keep working on those little victories, those little things in life. And you said you're cooking now. You're cooking. You've learned all these new habits that we have to
Yes.
do.
Yes, I cook for my family every day, and not just for my family. I recently cooked for my community, for 50 to 100 people just by myself.
Wow.
A little with help of my husband because he was worried that I'll get tired, and he wanted to help me out.
Right. Right.
But I did pretty much everything from scratch, and I that's something I never did it before my stroke. That's why I said I never knew how strong you can be.
Yes. And now you realize it.
Yeah.
And a stroke. This is the reason the stroke taught you how
Yeah.
strong you really are, or taught you. Yeah. And Paul Cummings just said, "We are here for a reason." Um, there's, you'll have to probably go through all these comments, and I understand. And with a phone, I used to do that all the time. You can't see the comments, but after you can go through and see like a replay. Um, okay, so Paul just said there's no holes in NOLA. Paul, sorry, I stroke moment because I don't know what that means. I mean, um, sorry, Paul. Um, uh, Paul saying you're amazing. You're so amazing, and
Thank you very much, everyone.
yeah, they're
It's all of us together. So let's just work out everybody together, and we'll get to the point where we'll know that why this happened and what we can do and we cannot.
right, right. It's so true. And Salute saying I'm Tom's caregiver, and we've been to New Orleans, and I wheeled him all over the French Quarter. Potholes didn't stop us. That's good. Oh boy. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay, Paul. I understand. New Orleans. Okay. Um, there's so many comments. You have to go through those later because they're going pretty crazy. But yeah. So what else could you tell somebody that's I know we have a lot of stroke stories out there that are newbies, new, and they're feeling like, wow, I'm like we were when we first had it. Why me? And I can't go on. I'm a burden to my family. All that. How do you overcome that?
what I did, like I said, I started looking at the worst. So start looking at the glass half a full instead of half empty.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you don't have maybe your hand and your leg working, but think about the, like, when I was in therapy, I met this 5-year old baby who was born with a problem where she could not use her limbs at all. So think about that. At least we had 20 some years or maybe 30 some years to enjoy our life. Think
Right.
about that girl. She was just born and she didn't have that small happiness that we enjoyed for 30 years.
Exactly.
So start looking at the glass half of full instead of half empty.
Very true. That I appreciate that. And Yvonne says thank you. Um,
Because that's what that's what my father actually taught me, that the day only comes after the night. So if we are going through night, if you feel you are going through night right now, wait for your day to come. Don't give up.
wow.
Just keep
That's beautiful.
moving.
Very beautiful said. I love that. Like I said, I feel like I wanted to sit here because you are my motivational speaker that I'm listening to.
Like I said, I'm using like a lot of stuff that my family kind of taught me to get out of that phase. I was very frustrated, upset with everybody, myself. And then I was like, one day I sat and started thinking about everything. And whenever somebody tells me something good, I normally write it down. And when I'm upset or something, I'll go back to that and revisit that same thing that whoever said to me and think about it and feel how true that is.
Right. It is true. And one thing I never touched on, because I'm in the same boat. What you take meds? I take Keppra and Vinpat.
Yes, I do. I take Capra. I take baclofen for my spasticity,
Yeah.
aspirin so the blood clot doesn't happen again, and there are other few that I don't remember now.
I know. Yeah. Exactly. No. Yeah. The Keppra. I take 3,000 milligrams a day.
Oh no, I take only 500 milligram a day. Like
Oh.
I said, I was blessed. I only had a one seizure and then it stopped.
Wow. Okay. That's good. I didn't know if I should be weaned off it, but who knows? I'll wait till this pandemic is and talk to my doctor. No,
Yeah, you always want to consult your doctor. Don't stop anything on your own.
yes, listen to your body, right?
Yeah, even if you feel that you don't need it anymore, talk to your doctor. Don't just stop it.
Right, right, exactly. Um, and Anna Perla, who's from San Francisco, thank you. I can finally hear you. I was having problems. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, and yeah, Yvonne says I don't like Keppra. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I like or not like because never had this issue,
You don't
a
have to
stroke.
like, just take it. Just take it. You don't have to like.
Yeah, so true. That's terrific. So so other than the stroke, how are you doing now? What are you doing? You're going to because life has changed obviously since day. I mean, you went through a hiccup, which is a stroke, and now you're going back up the ladder again.
Yeah, so once I lost my job, now I know that I can still work. I'm trying to find a full time job, which is still hard to get into with in this, I guess, economy and the way everything's happening. So,
Right.
but till I find the job, I started my own business.
Really?
I do real estate,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
and I also work as a tax preparer. I help people to do their taxes end of the year. So
Wow.
I still do a lot of different stuff.
Good for you. Good for you. See, so you're not. It's great to show and hear that you're not letting stroke stop you from what you want to do. I mean, like you said, real estate, and you had to take an exam or pass the real
Yeah.
estate.
Yes, I had to take the exam. I had to pass I have to get the license. And once again, when you're in that real estate class, all I was in the beginning, I was thinking, how can I sell a real estate? Because you have to be like, as a realtor, you have to look nice and you have to go out and show the houses in a
Right,
winter and maybe in a hill area, or maybe it's not a good surface, but I still managed. I went out, I showed the houses, I sold the houses.
wow, that's
I help people buy their houses, so I know I can do it.
right,
People not only looking at your body, realize they are looking at you, within you, not just your body. Your body is not you. You have different feelings and different, I guess, within you, you're completely different. So people is looking within you, not just your body.
right, right.
So you can still do whatever you wanted to do before the stroke.
So true. And Deb is saying, Kathy, you are a strong woman.
It made me strong. I was not strong. It made me strong like this. Like I said, you're differently able. You're not disabled. You're differently able. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
People do it maybe with the right hand. You maybe you're doing with left hand. You're doing it differently. That does not make you disabled. You're just doing it differently.
yeah, I
You're
love it.
differently able, not disabled. I refuse to take that title.
Yeah, exactly. That's not your title. Not at all. Wow. Uh, Salute. Excellent attitude. She's saying about you. Um, yeah, and Yvonne again says exactly. We don't change inside. So true. So near the closing, what other inspire? I mean, 'cause you're completely inspiring to I know everybody and to me that you can shed light on that we haven't covered. Like you know, don't feel like because I know Lynette Price out there. Um, she always has a great saying that you have the right to get down, but you don't have a right to stay there.
Right. I don't know who's saying it, but I read this quote somewhere. It says, if you cannot walk, if you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But just do something. Don't just stop.
Right,
That
right.
little steps, if you cannot, like, just take those little steps. Eventually, you'll get there.
Yeah, celebrate those little victories.
Right.
So true, so true. And um, let's see. So, did you have two small strokes? Because some people, because you had one stroke, correct?
Yeah, I had one stroke and that was major. It was in my cerebellum, CVA, which I didn't know any of this before. The body, it was in a center of the cerebrum. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said it was it was a certain hormone in your body that led to a blood clot.
Yes. I mean, that's what they diagnosed after few years. First, it was like all like, okay, maybe she has a 10, she has some like her blood maybe has some kind of tendency where it's kind of creating blood. So they did all the testing, everything came back normal. Then the saying was, okay, maybe it's in her genes. And then some doctors said, no, it does not run in genes. And
That's
then after, I guess at least after 5 years later, my physician said, no, your hormone, one of the hormone named homocysteine is very high. And that causes the blood to go thicker.
that's just amazing. I mean, it's taken you 5 years. I know,
So it's still, I mean, I still don't know whether that's the correct answer or not. But I
right?
guess at this point, it really doesn't matter. It is what it is. And I have to live. I have to work on this forget about why it happened. It
So
happened.
true.
So let's just work on it now.
Yeah,
This is where I am now. So why
right.
look back?
Yeah, I say the same thing. And Tracy Brooks says, thank you. And Mike Peters from South Wales, United Kingdom, um, he's the one that said, you adapt.
Of course you do, and you have to.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Um, so Paul Cummings says, hello, everyone. I need to pack. He's moving from Florida to New Orleans. He says, thanks, Kathy. He did say, and me, but really it's Kathy, everybody. You know,
No, it's
she's
all
got me.
because of you, Jerry. You cannot take your credit away. You are the one
Oh,
who started this. You
I,
introduced me to everybody else. Thank you, everybody.
yes. Oh, yeah. There's huge. I mean, long comments. So I can't see him, but after the show, you'll be able to see the replay and look at
Yeah.
the the respond to them. Um, but and like Serena from Nova Scotia, Canada, saying Canada, every doctor gives a different reason.
Yes. True.
Yeah, so I know the feeling because mine, I was told it could have been a sinus infection. There's not hereditary, So, but anyway, yeah. But I really appreciate you being on the show. And Salud just said, Kathy, thank you for sharing your story. You are very inspirational. And then Kevin, management of life journey. Keep grinding, keep growth, keeping growth. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Um, but yeah, is there any other last words you want to say? Because near the end here, for me, thank you so much. You're very inspirational. You're an extrovert. You're not an introvert. I love it.
Not anymore.
No, exactly. So, um, but yeah, thank you, and thank you guys for all being here. Um, uh, getting all caught up on these comments, but thank you. And anything else you want to say before we end the show?
No, I want to say thank you to everybody joining us. And once again, just keep moving. Do that. Take small steps and keep moving.
That's right. I
We all
appreciate it.
are here together in the same boat, so we all can help each other.
Exactly. Exactly. Appreciate it. And last thing, Mike Peters from South Wales, United Kingdom says, "Is rehab good in India?"
The only thing I really liked in India is like they do manual stretching, which was really needed at that time. So yes, it was good. The therapist I worked with, they were really nice, and they gave me a lot of insight of the spasticity, the how I can manage it myself, and they taught me a lot about the spasticity and the flexors energy pattern that I didn't know about it.
Right. Right.
So I guess the one thing I do want to add to my newbies, they ask questions to your therapist. Whatever you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you ask, find the answers why something's happening to your body.
Right.
Learn about the whys, and then that's how you can help yourself.
Exactly. I appreciate it so much. Well, thank you everybody for being here, and we will see you next time. And Kathy, I'll just you could just stay on, and we'll